Hey guys, Sony out here. Hope you guys are well. Sorry, I've just just finished my 12-hour stream for Dash. We raised £100, which I'm really happy about. I'm just ecstatic at that. You guys were brilliant. You guys were so good, and your support throughout the whole 12 hours. I don't actually feel too bad. All things considered, which is why I've decided to record this video now, as opposed to, going to bed, having some sleep, and then doing it tomorrow. Because tomorrow I just literally want to put my feet up and chill with Sarah and Sparky. What I want to talk about is the Xbox showcase that took place on Thursday. Just what I thought of it, but also what it means going forwards for the next generation of consoles, because it seems to me that Microsoft and Sony are playing two very different games. But I'm going to come on to that in a moment. Let's actually talk about the actual showcase itself very briefly. Vastly better than the last one. This was slick. This was on point. This was just... It was everything the first one should have been. I mean, I enjoyed the first one. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the first one, but it seemed very disjointed, seemed a bit messy, and it didn't really do what people were expecting it to, and what it was billed as what it was going to. No such problems with this one. Yeah, it was. They've just learned like all the lessons that they needed to learn, and as I said, it was very slick, very on point, very solid, very enjoyable. And it's like, yes, I was thinking I was going to get a Series X anyway. I am very much an Xbox gamer. Have been since the original. And I haven't owned all the iterations, but I've owned every generation. So the Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, One X, and I will be getting the Series X when that's eventually released. But let's get into a little bit as to what was actually shown. First up was Halo Infinite, and I'm like, yes, just give that to me now. Somebody build a time machine. We're going forwards in time, baby. I want to play that game. It looked ridiculously fun. Halo, or Bungie more specifically, when they made the original Halo, talked about this recurring 15 seconds of fun. And yeah, I appreciate that it was a demo, and obviously it's designed to show the best bits in terms of that fun, but it was there. There was some really cool stuff in it. Grappling hooking, fusion cores and throwing them at enemies. Brutes picking up grunts and throwing them at you. The fact that it seems to have a very open world sort of feel to it. In the fact that you can choose what objectives you're going to do in what order. Whilst obviously, it's going to be some linearity to it because they have a story that they want to tell. And they want you to experience, so they are going to find ways to, funnel you down that story. But it looked really sweet. It looked like there's a lot of elements of previous Halos in there. Very clearly, elements of previous Halos in there. And yeah. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There's some talk about the graphics. The graphics look bad. They didn't look next gen. Let's be honest. They didn't look like what this. If this was gonna show what this Series X could do, it didn't do that. But it was a demo. Demos are always going to be on builds that are behind the latest one. We don't know exactly when that demo was recorded. They've just said that it was on an older build. But you know, I couldn't. To be honest, I couldn't care less. It was Halo. It was fun. It looked really fun. I love the fact that the pilot from the Discover Hope trailer, very much a big part in the story. Great new villain at the end as well. Almost, you know, it's really got. It seems to have a lot of reverence for the Chief. Very much knows who he is, knows his reputation, knows what he can do, and it's very much. This is going to be my last fight, so bring your best, Spartan, because we're going to go down swinging. So yeah, that was good fun. Another big one as well that was announced that seemed to make a lot of people happy was Fable. I've never played Fable. I'll be honest, Fable was never really a game I played. At the time when it came out, I just wasn't into those types of games. I've broadened my horizons, so to speak, since then. So it's definitely a game I will probably pick up, especially given that it's on Game Pass, which is something I'm going to come on to again in a moment. But yeah, what else? Very much looking forward to Crossfire X. As soon as I saw that Remedy Games were involved in that, I'm like, yep, sign me up, please. And yeah, because Remedy did Control, Alan Wake. I think they were involved in Max Payne, the original Max Payne games. So very great pedigree of very solid, tight single player experiences. So this game does have a multiplayer element, but it's the single player that got me all over that. There are a few games that didn't particularly interest me, but that's natural, you know. And that's one of the things I loved about the showcase. It's just the sheer variety of games that they brought, both, you know, in terms of style, in terms of genre, in terms of, you know, first person versus third person, and it was just like it's just not just, you know, as I said, not just learned the lesson from the previous presentation, but learned the lesson since, you know, the launch of the Xbox. You know, it was criticised for lack of exclusives. They've gone out and acquired some extremely well-respected studios. You know, they were sort of very much accused of not focusing in on the games and trying to turn the Xbox into almost like a media device. You know, they've learned from that Series X's power to play games, and you know, and then they showed games, you know. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a you know, in one regard, yeah, I can see what people's complaints are, that they didn't really show the power of you know, what the Series X can do. And some of the demos apparently were actually running on a PC, which is annoying, but quite normal when running these sorts of things. You've also got to bear in mind that last month was supposed to be an E3, you know, cancelled due to a small pandemic that's currently afflicting the world, which has obviously messed up, you know, everyone's development schedules and everything. So yeah, but the big point I want to come on to, and what I said, is that the reason why Microsoft and Sony appear to be playing two different games here, and it comes down. Let me find it. Michael O'Connor on Twitter, and I was saying I was going to do some recording. Asked, what do you think Microsoft's greatest strength going into the next console generation will be? Well, I think it's going to be couple of things, really. I think the big one is Game Pass. It's widely regarded as probably the best value package for games on the market at the moment. It is absolutely incredible what Xbox has done with that. Over 100 games. I pay $10.99 a month. I don't play an awful lot of games off the Game Pass because my backlog is just ridiculously huge as it is. But it's such good value for money. And that's before you even come into the fact that, you know, I have actually picked up Forza Horizon 4 and Gears 5 off the Game Pass. I didn't actually pay the $49.99, $59.99 that it was going to be to get those games. I've also picked up quite a few smaller titles off there that I probably never would have given a second thought to, and that's been sort of one of the brilliant things about the Game Pass. But just the sheer volume of games that are on there makes it worth the money right off the bat. But there's something else as well regarding the Game Pass. I've just got to pull this tweet up. Yes, this one is from Samuel Bateman, who's the marketing lead at Xbox UK. These are the games that they showed during the presentation: Halo Infinite, Fable, Forza Motorsport. That looked really quite cool, actually, even though it was just an in-game engine trailer. The fact that Forza Motorsport's coming is not a surprise. State of Decay 3, As Dusk Falls, Avowed, Stalker 2, Tetris Effect, Warhammer Darktide, Everwild. That looked quite interesting, actually. I think that was from Rare. They always make very cool games, actually. Grounded, The Medium, Psychonauts 2, Tell Me Why, Peril on Gorgon, and I've completely forgotten what PSO2 stands for. I blame my brain. Is it Fantasy Star Online, something like that? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, all those were revealed on the Xbox showcase on Thursday. Every single one is not only coming to the Game Pass, it's coming to the Game Pass day one. That is just completely bonkers. Now, admittedly, not all of them are AAA titles, but Halo Infinite will be a $60 game. Fable will be a $60 game. Forza Motorsport, I suspect State of Decay 3 would be. Stalker 2 may well be. I'm not sure about Warhammer Darktide. Everwild would be. That is... If you were to just play those games that I've just read out, if you just play those games on the Game Pass, that is what? £300, £400 worth of games? As I said, I'm paying $10.99 a month. It's ridiculous value for money. Regardless if you don't like the games that are on it. You know, that's a stupid value for money. Now add on to the fact that all the games on the Game Pass, well, I think most of the games on the Game Pass, and pretty much all those games realised, are going to have this smart delivery. Wherein that if you play them on a Series X, you will get the absolute best version of the game, and optimized for the Series X. If you play it on the Xbox One, because you haven't got the Series X, you'll still get a version of the game that'll be optimized for your for your game. And if you decide to upgrade, the games come with you. You don't have to then buy another copy of the game. Add on to that, Project X Cloud. Now, whether streaming is going to be the future is, subject to massive discussion. I'm not sure if it's going to be the future, but I think it's going to be a major player in the gaming space. Not only do the Game Pass titles going to be on xCloud, you get Project xCloud with your Game Pass Ultimate subscription from September. Also add on Game Pass for PC. And this is why I think Microsoft... This is the biggest advantage Microsoft have got, is the fact that they're not playing the same game as Sony here. Now, I just want to make one thing absolutely clear for anyone who's watching this video and it's the first video of mine that you've seen. I have nothing against Sony. I want Sony to do well, because competitors doing well forces companies to up their game, and that's what's happened here. PS4 was such a success, it's forced Microsoft to up their game, and everybody wins on that regard. The PS5 is a good machine. From what I've seen of it, it looks a fantastic machine. I can only afford one, so I'm going for Xbox, because I've been Xbox all pretty much most of my gaming life. Well, not quite. I'm actually middle-aged nearly, but for the last 20 years I've been Xbox. But I suppose I've got nothing against Sony. Sony is a fantastic machine. The PS4 is a great machine. You don't sell the number of machines they have without it being a good machine. The PS5 looks a great machine from the specs. Sony are doing their own thing. The problem is for Sony, not necessarily, I don't think this is a problem, is that when it comes to the quote-unquote console wars, there isn't a war because Microsoft aren't fighting it. Now, obviously, Microsoft want you to buy a Series X. They do want to buy you to buy a Series X. You don't invest that kind of time, money, resources into researching and developing a new console if you don't want people to buy it. So of course they want people to buy it. But it's not their focus. Yes, if you look at what they're doing with the Game Pass and xCloud, they're going after your mobile devices, they're going after your PC, they're going after your consoles. Microsoft want you in their ecosystem. And they're basically trying to make that as easy as possible. If you're a mobile gamer, you like to play your games on the go, or just sat, you just got your tablet and you want to play, not like Candy Crush or anything, but like you want to play Gears of War, you want to play Halo, you want to play Fable. It's fine. Project X Cloud, we can sort that. We can do that for you. More of a PC gamer, that's alright. Our games are on Steam. Oh, by the way, we've also got Game Pass as well, so you can get quite a few PC games through there as well. You're a console gamer, there you go. Got to see, not only have we got Xbox Game Pass for you, we got a new console coming out for you guys if you want to buy some new hardware. I think that is going to be very, very enticing, I think, for a lot of people. And Microsoft are just going, get you on a subscription pass. Don't care how you play, we just want you to play. As I said, be it mobile, on PC, console, they are leveraging their strengths. Microsoft have got Azure. It's no shock that Sony went to Microsoft and go, can we use your Azure platform, please, for our own streaming stuff? It's no surprise that they did. They've got the infrastructure there, and Microsoft are using it, and Xbox are using it. They're like, this is where we are. This is what we're good at. Let's just get people on our ecosystem. Let's just get people playing wherever they want. Yeah, they obviously believe it's the avenue that's going to make them the most money, and that's as great a value that this product, the Game Pass is. They're doing it to make money. Let's not sugarcoat that. Let's not make Microsoft to be out to doing anything other than trying to make money. But there is nothing on the market gaming-wise like this. And Sony with their PS Plus, I think, is it PS Plus and PS Now? They're scrambling to catch up on that front. Microsoft aren't bothered about how many Xbox Series X's they sell when compared to Sony. I think the PS5 will outsell the Series X. I genuinely do. But I think that it's because Microsoft aren't playing that game anymore. They are very much playing the online subscription game. Don't care how people arrive in our ecosystem, but we want them in our ecosystem. We want them to buy our games. Because let's face it, 343 is owned by Xbox Game Studios, which is obviously owned by Microsoft. Do you think Microsoft care whether you buy Halo on an Xbox or PC? No. It's why Sony are putting their games out on PC now. But I think that, as I said, for me, is the biggest advantage and strength that Microsoft have got going into this, is that, and I think possibly something Phil Spencer realised, that not only, I think a combination of that Microsoft lost so heavily to Sony, Google trying to get into the streaming space, Nvidia's GeForce, Amazon are rumoured to be trying to get involved. Microsoft have seen this and they're like, okay, we need to get into that space. But the clever thing that they've done is that they've not treated it in isolation. They've brought the whole thing together as part of the Xbox package, basically. And yeah, I think it's brilliant. Yeah, I personally will be getting a Series X. I'm not a PC gamer, despite the fact that I can, plug my controller into my PC and play Steam games with it if I want to, with a lot of the games. I am a console gamer at heart. That's what I am. But it's also as well, it tied into this variety of platforms that Microsoft are reaching out to us. Let's come back to the variety of games. Just the sheer variety, as I said, of styles, of genres, of games that Microsoft have got coming out. Do I wish they had more story-driven, single-player focused games like Sony have got with Horizon Zero Dawn and Spider-Man and Last of Us and whatnot? Yeah, I would love. I love those kinds of games. I do, but I also want games that are just ludicrously fun to play. And I feel that Microsoft are offering that. And this isn't just them appealing to the casual crowd. These are, well-established studios making these games. So your hardcore gamer is gonna know them. They're gonna know what type of game they make. They're gonna know the quality of the game that they make, and they're gonna be interested in these games for that reason alone. As I said, I think the PS5, just to reiterate, I think the PS5 is going to outsell the Xbox, but Microsoft ultimately will win this because they're going to be like, okay, yeah, you've sold X number of PS5s compared to X number of X Series X's, fair enough. But how many people are now in your ecosystem? How many subscribers do you have to your Game Pass? How many subscribers do you have to your online cloud? Your cloud streaming services. And I think when those figures come out, I think Microsoft are going to wipe the floor with Sony. I really do. Which I think will be a great thing for the industry, because then it's going to force Sony to up their game. And Sony's going to have to come back with something that's even better. And that means we as gamers win. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think Microsoft and Xbox could have done much more than what they did with that presentation. They nailed everything I think they wanted to nail. Yes, they go on about how the Series X is going to be the most powerful console in the world when it comes out. I got no doubt about that. But I also have no doubt that those who really, really are concerned with graphical fidelity have a high-end gaming PC. You don't buy, or at least in my experience, you don't buy a console for its graphical prowess. You buy a console because you can plug a disc in. In fact, with digital only consoles, you don't even have to do that. You buy your game, it works. In theory, at least, anyway. But you don't have to go worrying about changing drivers. You don't have to worry about updating any of that. The game is optimized for that console. That is it. It's always been the selling point of a console. I think the games are going to look great. I think they're going to look superb. I think, again, like with any console generation, give devs a few years to get to grips with the hardware, and I think we will see some absolutely superb games coming out in terms of graphical fidelity. But ultimately, I don't think that's what's going to win people over. I think it's going to be quality of your games. I think it's going to be the types of games, the accessibility of games, and I think Microsoft are in the lead on that front. Anyway, that's half hour of me waxing lyrical about Microsoft and Xbox. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree with anything I've said, disagree with anything I've said. As I said, just want to reiterate, I have nothing against Sony. I think Sony, as I said, I think the PS5 looks great console. Really do. And I wish some of the games like Spider-Man and God of War, were on the Xbox. But I just think as an overall package in terms of what is being offered by both companies, I think Microsoft, it sealed the deal. Any lasting, lingering doubts that I had were gone by the end of that presentation. And especially about Halo Infinite, because my God, Halo Infinite looked good. Anyway, I'm going to go. As I said, any questions, comments, drop them down below. And I will see you on my next video, and you guys take care, and I love you all. Bye-bye.